Hi, everyone. How are y'all doing this morning? So, as many of y'all know, I'm Connor Rossow. Um, so, I've been coming here since heck, 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. And as a kid, I never really knew God. I think I could count on one hand how many times I attended church. Um, my family never really focused on church or God as a big thing. Um, wasn't until probably I was 14, 13, 14, that I kind of started realizing that something was calling me in a direction, and so we started going to a little Baptist church down the road, and I could tell as soon as first or two services in, it wasn't home. I didn't feel like I belonged there. I didn't. People were great. Don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't my place. And about that time, my parents are divorced. My mom started seeing a guy that attended Top Hand, and she asked if I wanted to go. And so, being a teenager that didn't know his place in the world, I was like, sure. So we came, and we were still in the back. We hadn't even moved up to the stage, so that was that long ago. So we left, and we turned on Highway 6, and my mom asked me and my sister what we thought. First words out of my mouth was I was home. Like, this is where I belong. So me and my wife, girlfriend at the time, we started getting plugged into Lorena Barn Fellowship, and Rob and Brittany were gracious enough to accept two teenagers into their home. And Rob, I just want to tell you, you have showed me how to be a strong man of God and to lead my family. And so throughout the years of going to Barn Fellowship, me and my wife were able to see how a good marriage was supposed to be and how we were supposed to be as followers of Christ. And so we get married, and she says yes for some reason. And so life is great. We're living in an apartment in Hewitt, just being married to each other, loving life. I'm a firefighter in Temple, got the career of my dreams. Life couldn't get any better. Well, God decided that it was the right time for us to buy a home. So for some reason, we applied for the loan, got approved, and the next day, a house fell into our lap. And by fell into our lap, I mean she saw it on Facebook, and we contacted our realtor, and said we got it on Monday. So we moved in, and like I said, life is great. We were on cloud 9 at this point. So let's see. Fast forward to 20. We decide that God has laid it on our hearts to try to grow our family. And so September of 20, we find out that we're pregnant, and life is great. I'm going to be a dad. That's one thing that I've always wanted to be. And we go to our appointment on September 29th and get the infamous words, "There's no heartbeat." And so I had no idea what to do. I didn't know how to comfort myself. I didn't know how to comfort my wife. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't know what was going on. And it was kind of like the last week's sermon. I don't know why it was me. That doesn't happen to me. Well, it did. And so a couple weeks go by of us trying to shuffle through life, trying to figure out what the heck we're supposed to do. And I run one of the worst calls as a firefighter I could ever imagine, which was an infant CPR. Didn't turn out good. So I'm still in this hole that I can't even imagine. And it's every time I turned on my truck, Christian music was on, and I didn't know why. And so throughout the months, me and Jordan, we started kind of diving into the Word, and she got baptized in November. And it just, throughout that year from 21 to 20, or 20 to 21, God showed himself. It was, he showed me who he was, and to not take him lightly, and to give him myself and all I have. And so I did. Me and Jordan, it strengthened our marriage, as weird as that sounds. It strengthened our walk with him, just because we relied on him to show us the next day. I mean, it was the hardest, most brutal year that we have ever went through. Come July of 21, Jordan's pregnant again. We're scared out of our mind, and we lose that one as well. So we're 2 miscarriages deep, and not a clue why. The very next month, she's pregnant again. You'd think we'd learn, but so God laid it on our hearts that we're pregnant again, and so we went to our first baby appointment, and there's the heartbeat. Awesome. And at that point, they couldn't hear it, and so we walked out of the office pretty much no hope at all. And there's a place in Waco that Jordan found on Facebook, as weird as that is, and they're called Tiny Hearts, and they take ultrasounds of the baby and everything. Well, we went, and just on a whim, like maybe we'll check up on him. And well, we heard the heartbeat that one, and I tell you, that was the sweetest noise I've ever heard. And so God has just showed me my place, and that's to be a husband and to be a father. And so we go through this 9-month journey of being scared out of our mind when he didn't move when Jordan woke up, or when she fell asleep, or when he didn't kick because the music was on, or some, just weird stuff that we were scared of. Looking back now, we were dumb, but so June 10th, we went to the hospital or June 9th actually. We went to the hospital because Jordan wasn't feeling him move, and we had one of the little Doppler things that tracked his heart rate. Well, it was higher than normal. And so we went in, and he was born on June 10th. Healthiest baby there ever was. I mean, for y'all that know him, he's the craziest little turd I've ever known. Perfect baby boy. I mean, he's wonderful. And as much as I want to say that day went great, I thought I was going to lose my wife. Throughout the birth process, her glucose had dropped to 20. For y'all that are medical, you know that's bad. And so I don't think I've ever pleaded with God to take me more that day than I ever have. But God showed up, and we figured out the problem, and they were able to save her before anything happened. But from those dark holes that I've been in, God has showed me every single time to just trust him, to just put my faith in him and forget trying to control the situation. Because for y'all that know me, I like to be in control of the situation. I like to know what's going on. And God has showed me time and time and again that it's not my plan, it's not my goal. And so now me and Jordan are healthy, parents to a perfect baby boy. We have our home, we have our dream careers. I mean, life is great right now, and I can't wait to see what God has in store for me and for me to put my faith in him again. So thank y'all for letting me share my testimony.